Hi folks, this is Shefik. Today we are going to use Neo4j graph database to find false positive classifications in deep face recognition. But before we begin, please like the video and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, please click the bell icon to keep up to date with the latest videos. Nowadays, facial recognition models already reach and past the human level accuracy. As you can see in the README file of the DeepFace repository, human beings have 97.5% accuracy on the labeled face in the wild dataset, whereas most of the facial recognition models passed that level accuracy. On the other hand, none of those state-of-the-art models offer 100% accuracy, unfortunately. Naturally, it comes with a few false positive and false negative classifications. For example, let's run a classification task in DeepFace. I'm going to import the library first from DeepFace. Import DeepFace. Thereafter, I'm going to call its verification function. And this function expects image1 path as input and also image2 path as input. I'm going to use the unit test items of the DeepFace library. You can find out those items in this URL, but they're already installed in my local environment. So they are in DeepFace tests dataset, and let's test the image 30 and also image 35. Actual labels of those image pair as Matt Damon and Leonardo DiCaprio. So the expected output is false because they are different person, and I'm going to store the verification task result in the object variable, and also I'm going to use the FaceNet model as a facial recognition model, MTCNN face detector, and finally cosine distance as a similarity metric. Let's see the result of the DeepFace. It says true. In other words, DeepFace classifies this pair as same person, but actually they are different persons. So this is a false positive classification. In other words, it's a misclassification and it's false. Herein, we can especially detect this kind of false positive patterns with Neo4j graph database easily. Firstly, I'm going to retrieve the names of those unit test items for root directories and files in. I'm going to use a function under the OS module operating system dot voc, and here I'm going to pass the dataset folder, and this is also going to return the file names as list. That's why I'm going to build a for loop for file in files, and let's print the file names. I'm going to discard the files if its extension is not .jpeg. So I can store those file names in this dictionary, file names.append. But before that, I can actually store the root name as well. Let's see the content of the file names. Now I'm going to represent those facial images as vector embeddings with DeepFace. Here I'm going to build another for loop. And here I'm going to call DeepFace dot represent, and represent function expects image path as input, and here I'm going to pass the file as input name. Besides, I'm going to pass the model name. It's going to be FaceNet. Detector name is going to be empty CNN. And finally, I'm going to store the response of that function in the embedding variable. This is going to be a list consists of 128 dimensions. In other words, it's going to be a list consisting of 128 items. Also, I can exclude the file name in this line. Name is going to be file.split, and I'm going to split it by slash character, and I'm going to get its last item. Also, I can discard the .jpeg extension like that from beginning to -4. I'm going to store each file item as nodes in the Neo4j site. That's why I'm going to create a cipher statement here. Here in the cipher statement, we are going to run a merge command, and inside of the merge command, we are going to create face nodes, and name property of that node is going to be name. Name should be in single quote. Thereafter, we are going to set the embedding property of that node, and it's going to be embedding. We can set the index of the F node here. If we run file names in the enumerate, we are going to have the IDX of that iteration. Thereafter, I'm going to set the index value here, and finally I'm going to store this statement in the statements array. Statements are ready to run. Let's see the last statement in the statements list. Here we are going to create a face node and set its name as image 13, and we are going to set its embedding property to this list. Now we can communicate with Neo4j directly. I'm going to import Neo4j and import graph database and also basic authentication. And here I'm going to initialize the Neo4j client. It's going to be graph database driver, and here we are going to set the address of the local Neo4j server. That's going to be bold / localhost, and its default port is 7687. And as a second argument, I'm going to set the authentication argument, and it's going to be a tuple, and here I'm going to pass the username and password. Thereafter, I'm going to create the session, and it's going to be client.session. Here I'm going to create a wet block, and session.begin transaction is going to be called, and I'm going to assign the response of the begin transaction into TRX. Thereafter, I'm going to build a for loop for statements, and I'm going to run each statement in the Neo4j site. transaction.run and statement, and after the for loop I can commit the all transactions. All statements are run and nodes are created in the Neo4j side. We can validate it in the Neo4j console. If you click the face nodes, you are going to see individual nodes here. Actually, we have 61 nodes, as you can see here. They are all individual nodes, and if you click a node, you are going to see its name and embedding property. Now we are going to create edges between nodes if the similarity between those nodes is less than the pretuned threshold value. We have used the FaceNet model to represent facial images as vectors, and in the DeepFace side, this line corresponding to threshold values, and I'm going to use the cosine similarity in this experiment, so the threshold is going to be 0.4. In the Neo4j side, I'm going to firstly find the all nodes, and let's say pair 1. Thereafter find nodes again, and this is going to be the pair 2. As a condition, I'm going to check name of the pair 1 and name of the pair 2 should be different. Thereafter, I'm going to transfer the outcomes with the with command with return pair 1, pair 2, and also I'm going to calculate the cosine similarity value. Graph data science dot similarity dot cosine, and I'm going to pass pair 1's embedding and pair 2's embedding, but this should be 1 minus cosine similarity value, because in that way I'm going to find the distance value, and those values represent the distance value, and this value is going to be distance. Thereafter, I'm going to create another condition and check the distance value is less than the pretuned threshold value, which was 0.4. And finally, I'm going to create edge satisfying that condition between P1 and P2. And let's name the edge as distance. Also, I can set the distance value in the edge as e.distance is going to be distance. As you can see, this command creates 140 relationships. If you run this match face return and command again, you are going to see the edges and nodes. Please focus on this cluster. Actually, you can see this block consists of 3 different clusters. This is a common pattern for false positive, because if strongly connected cluster is connected to another strongly connected cluster as weakly, then those edges are going to be false positive cases, and this could be detected by human eye easily. I also visualize those nodes with its original images in this illustration, and as you can see, it really consists of 3 different clusters. One is belonging to Jack Dorsey, second is belonging to Matt Damon, and the third is belonging to Leonardo DiCaprio. And those distance values, those distance edges are false positive edges. Even though those patterns can be detected by human eye easily, we can formulate it with formula. I'm going to first create a graph, temporary graph, graph data science.graph project, and let's name it my graph, and focus on face nodes, and as the edge I'm going to focus on distance edges, and also distance edge has properties named distance. This created my temporary graph. I'm going to call graph data science dot betweenness dot stream, and this is going to focus on my graph, which was created the command this line. Thereafter yield node ID and score. I'm just going to focus on the node with score values more than 0, which is score value is more than 0, and this is going to return graph data science dot util dot snode, and this expects node ID as input, and I wonder its name, and I'm going to name this variable as name. Thereafter it's going to return score, and let's order this list with its core. As you can see, this query is returning 8 lines, 8 records, and finally all records are corresponding to nodes with false positive edges. Remember here. So we can use the betweenness score to drop the false positive edges in this experiment. So in this video we have mentioned how to use Neo4j graph database and its betweenness centrality function to find false positive edges in the facial recognition applications. Thank you all for watching, and see you next time.